Today's video discusses the four key activities involved in agent management. Hello, I'm James Helfrich. In the distant past, you worked as an individual contributor on a software team until after maybe a few years of time, you got promoted to become a team lead. Today, college graduates are asked to be a team lead from day one. The only difference is they're not team leads to human agents, but rather to AI agents. This video will discuss the four principal activities involved in agent management. All right, first we'll talk about a traditional software development team. Congratulations, you got hired and you are now an individual contributor. Fortunately, you're assigned a development lead, and this development lead will look after you and help you through the process as well as coordinate your activities. But fortunately, you're going to have some help. You're going to get a collection of software tools such as a debugger and a code editor and software management tools and a bunch of other things. And these will all work for you to make you more powerful. Of course, you are not the only individual contributor working for this development lead. You have a collection of other coworkers who work with you, all under the direction of the development lead. Now, I need to emphasize, this development lead, the team of people working for him, is several times more productive than any one individual contributor could be. The individual contributor will spend perhaps 85, 90% of their time contributing to the project, and then 10, 20% of their time coordinating with the team. But the development team will spend 75% of his or her time managing the team and 25% of their time contributing in a traditional way. Okay, this is how things were a few years ago. This is not how things are today. Today, in modern software development teams, you are the development lead, but you do not have individual contributors working for you. You have a collection of AI agents and software agents, and each of these AI agents may have software tools working for them. Now, this is really important because we got to spend approximately 75% of our time managing the software agents and 25% of our time doing normal individual contributor work. But this also means that we, by ourselves, need to be several times more productive than we were before. Productive in terms of what amount of code written as well as the quality of the code. Now, in the past, we would have 5, 7, maybe 10 years before we got promoted to become a team lead, at which point in time we can observe team leads at work, understand the essential skills required to be a team lead before we're asked to do it. Today, we have to understand these skills and manage it from day one. So, what exactly are these essential skills we have to learn in this new modern software development world? Well, let's talk about them. It boils down to four key activities. Activity number one is orchestrate. We need to be able to take a large and complex problem and break it up into small and manageable chunks. Step number two, we need to delegate. We need to take one piece of that large problem and give it to a human, software, or AI agent to do it. Third, we have to evaluate. We have to ascertain the quality of the work to see if it's fit for use and what needs to be done to improve it. And finally, we need to redirect. If one of our agents do not perform a good enough quality work, we need to be able to help them and guide them into the process so they do. So let's talk about that orchestrate in a little bit more detail. So what does it take to orchestrate a team of individuals? Number one, you need to have a roadmap. You need to know where you're going and the path to get there. Oftentimes, a roadmap is as simple as step A, step B, step C, but most of the time there's uncertainty. You're going to progress a little bit and then you're going to have a fork in the road. Do you choose option A or chops option B? Or perhaps you have many different options or you have to cycle back up and do it again. Now, it's essential that an effective manager, whether of human agents or of AI agents, knows what the path looks like to get to the solution and always has that 50,000-foot perspective. It's essential you don't get bogged down in the details, but rather have the big picture in mind always. The second thing you need to do is perform integration. I need to be able to take parts of individual pieces and bring them all together into a single cohesive whole. And that can be challenging, especially when the individual contributors working for you, in this case AI agents, produce different types of work. Oftentimes, your roadmap takes the integration challenges into account. Okay, next, you have to delegate. You have to be able to assign a task to an individual contributor. In this case, is an AI agent or maybe a software agent. This means you have to give it all the essential requirements to get the job done. You need to be very specific about what needs to be done, provide all the background information, namely the context, and perhaps show examples of what a good solution looks like. Also, you need to be able to ask for the individual contributor to return and report in a meaningful way. Okay, which brings us to the next one, evaluate. Evaluators ascertain the quality of that work. And this means we have to request reports in a very specific format. The format is what we as managers need to be able to make a decision about whether this is fit for use or whether we need to make an improvement in some way. And this reports that we request is highly individual to who we are. And then finally, we got to make decisions on quality based on objective metrics. In other words, we have to have a well understood notion of what quality looks like and be able to hold all the individual contributors' work to that unified metric. Once we're finished, sometimes that quality is not good enough and we have to redirect. And this involves being very specific about what is right and what is wrong. It's important we specify what is right so it's retained and what is wrong so we need to focus on. And finally, clarity. Clarity is all about what a good solution looks like. I really need to emphasize that these four activities, orchestrate, delegate, evaluate, and redirect, are what all managers do, regardless of your discipline. But now we have to master these pretty much from day one upon graduation. And this requires a whole different set of skills. We can learn more about this in the AI Agent Management chapter of the Software Design textbook.